What's up, basement dwellers? Welcome to another edition of the Jersey Fanatics. And yes, it is I, Chris the Dace Man, Dace, joined by Erik Barezzo.
You know, I'm trying to feel optimism. I'm trying to, just send out the positive vibes, but I can't even do a positive high. So you're just going to get a low.
Well, you know, I'm just on autopilot when it comes to intros to shows. So there is no emotion behind it. I'm just a hollow robot that does the same intro for everything I do. The only thing that changes is the name of the people that are on the panel.
Even still, no matter what, I was feeling pretty good all day long. I was
Is it me?
No, it's not you. I was feeling pretty positive. I was feeling pretty excited and couldn't wait for tomorrow's game. And then I see all these reports that come out that bashing Casty, bashing Harper, bashing Topper, bashing Stott, every which way you can go. Bashing Bader, who is apparently injured, but you don't know what injury he has. People are saying now it's a hamstring injury when Thompson said it was the groin injury. So they're not even coming across with the right injury. And if that's even accurate, you have no idea what direction this team is going. The only thing that gives me some kind of optimism is they're going with the Powder Blues. And you can't lose in the Powder Blues. They allegedly didn't even bring the Road Grays to LA. So they're going to be doing the Powder Blues for both Game 3 and Game 4. So you can't lose. It's the Blues, man. You just can't lose. They have to be able to call Manfred and get the Reds back also. So they have to do everything in their power to get the Reds back next year, because that's all the vibes went to shit when he got rid of the Reds.
So you think it's a fashion statement that's holding us back?
100%. 100%.
That's fair.
You know, the vibes were the best when we had Dancing on My Own, when we had Garrett Stubbs DJing.
Told you.
When we had the red jerseys, everything was going so great. Everyone was so happy. You had Red October all fired up, and now they suck. So, and they're 1-7 in their last 8 games, 1-6 at the I was gonna say the Citizens Bank Park. It's not great, and everything that's coming out of that clubhouse is bad.
They are. They're lowering the expectations, sir. What if I said to you for the last 2 years? Expect disappointment. You won't be disappointed.
And that's how it was the whole entire day today. I couldn't wait to get on this podcast because I was so ready. I was 2 seconds away from going on DraftKings. Shout out to our sponsor. What up, DraftKings? And dropping a little $20 on a same game parlay of the Phillies winning, Harper hitting a home run, and Schwarber hitting a home run. I felt so good about all that today. And then I saw all the reports coming out of basically not really fighting, but just not on the same page across the board. And you had Harper coming out and announcing that Nola is on a short leash.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I did think that was a little inappropriate to say that about one of who was your number 2 starter last year and had some quality. This is going to sound weird for me defending Nola coming into this, but he has some quality starts the last couple outings, and to dismiss him as oh, we're going to keep him away from the Rav, because unless he listens to our podcast and has found the trend that the RAV4 is what fucks him.
I get that he's the star, and everyone said that they signed JT because of him, and they've done this because of him, and he's basically been the general manager behind the scene. But let it be behind the scene.
Yeah. I thoroughly agree with that, because now, to me, you should be the beacon of hate. It's his worst season in the last 10 years. He's not the showman as of right now. He's what, 1 for 18 or whatever. Like, it's not good
The whole
numbers
entire
for him.
group was like 1 for 22.
Yeah,
So
he's got one hit, right? Trey's got one hit. Schwarber has no hits.
yeah, Remain is 2 for 22. Whatever it is, it's not. It's very low in the hits.
Yeah. So let's look at it this way. So the first, I don't like them having the bye. We've talked about this before, just because this is the magic behind this team was the underdog mentality, and the difference between that and these 2 years is they've been the top dog, number one in the NL last year, number two in the NL this year, and basically, I think they've lost perspective. That, like, every time they talk, they keep saying how good of a team they are. Well, they are, but they're playing like they should be handed this.
Listen, like on paper, you're one of the best teams in the league. On paper, Dodgers are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
On paper. But like so are the Yankees. And Toronto Blue Jays were basically written off that they have zero shot. They're winning again tonight or yesterday because it's dropping tomorrow. So, but they're winning again tonight against the Yankees. They're dominating them. They put up basically 10 spots almost every single game. And they have what? One star, maybe two? Like it's
I think it's an MLB curse, because they'll at the beginning of the year they'll tell you the teams to beat, and it's usually these teams that are not even on the radar that are making the run for it. And I think that's where Phillies excelled in that 2022 Magic run, was they were not on the radar. They made big moves in the offseason, and it was like, oh, they're going to get back into the race, not win the race and go all the way to the end and almost win it all. Like, it's a different attitude, and I think that's what across. I've seen it across all Philly sports, and I'm not a big you know me, I'm not a big Phillies sports fan as a whole. Like, hey, yay, good for the city that I live near doing well and other things, but anytime they have done the most success is when everybody counts them out. And the Phillies really have not been counted out the last 2 years, and they should have been, considering how early they're eliminated. And I think that that's affecting the club mentality in a way. Like, they think they say it in their responses to, like, hey, what happened tonight? Well, we got to play better. We're a better team, and we're not playing that well. Okay, fucking do it. Like, it's a weird mentality. It kind of feels like they feel like they should be handed this.
Yeah, that
But
they got to the World Series in 2022 and they're basically owed it.
yeah, like,
And it should just basically handed to us and we'll move on.
yeah, and we've said it on here. Like, on paper, this team should be a World Series winner, like, hands down. There's no reason this team should not have at least one ring. If not, they should have had multiple rings. But it's feeling like they're saying the same thing, which then is kind of killing the drive. You want to know people who it's not killing the drive for? Harrison Bader, Edmundo Sosa, like, guys that aren't the everyday player, like, especially the guys that have just come over from shit teams, like, that didn't have a prayer in the world, that are playing their heart out. That he pulled whatever he pulled in his leg, but he's still out there pinch hitting, gets a hit. Like,
Yeah,
the rest of the team ain't doing shit, and this guy that is, like, on limited duty comes out and gets immediately on base, and you as a fan is just like, what the hell?
yeah,
But if you haven't been able to tell yet at this point, we are 0-2 as of today in the NLDS. The season's on the line tonight in LA. Not ideal settings. The top three, Erik said, are like 1 for 22, 1 for 18, whatever the hell it is. Well, probably two. Trey had a hit in Monday's game, and Bryce had a hit in Saturday's game, but that wasn't enough to do it. The infuriating thing is that we'll talk about Saturday games first. They were winning. They
yeah,
were winning the game 3-0. Bottom of the lineup, JT with a triple, like, doing stuff. And at that point, it was, life is good. And then, I mean, we'll probably, it'll be a hell of a post-mortem next week if they're eliminated. and we're talking about this, that there's mismanagement all over the place. Rob Thompson goes to the bullpen, pulls Sanchez after Sanchez gives up 2, so now the Dodgers are within 1. Again, reasonable expectations because the Dodgers are a good team. Like I didn't expect to do what the Blue Jays are doing to the Yankees, where they're blowing them out every game, or what the Dodgers did to the Reds. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They are a really good team, and that needs to be said. It's the best money that can be deferred can buy.
You have to push all the right buttons in order to slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're Goliath. You're David in this pitcher. Like that. That's exactly what it is, and you have to push all the right buttons. And literally every button he's pushing is just sending off the nuclear flares, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, and the worst part is in game 1 you can't tell that your big 5 are going to go into a slump. Like you can't see that after 2 at bats. It could, and it's against Shohei Ohtani.
But you did see it in the practice.
Oh, I did.
When
the scrimmage. Yeah, you're right. That Wednesday game, even Kepler came out and said it.
There was 16 Ks, I think you said, out of 28 outs.
I told you the thing that scared the hell out of me is our Schwarber Turner put up goose eggs against Nola and Walker.
Yeah. So those 31,000 fans that were there at the scrimmage, you had a taste of what the postseason was going to be, and unfortunately, that carried over.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a crazy stat too because it's a scrimmage, so they're not going to go as hard because they're not going to want to kill themselves / kill their own teammates. Yeah. But at the same time, it was concerning. The same way that if we had that conversation and they lit up Nola, Jesus, Walker, 100%. I would have been like, holy fuck, the pitching's going to get lit up by the Dodgers. Yep. It was weird. The pitching obviously locked it down. So here you are, game 1, 7th inning. It's 3-2. This is clearly a pitcher's duel. You knew this coming into the series that pitching was going to be whoever faltered first in pitching, they're out.
But you knew that the Dodgers' biggest weakness was their bullpen,
which they compensated with having 8 fucking starters and then putting starters in instead of their actual bullpen,
who all got healthy coincidentally before the series started.
It's not an excuse, but it's very annoying that this team is so stacked. Again, not an excuse because they are beatable. Look at the regular season. Look at the season before when they won the World Series and we went 5-1 against them. Mm-hmm. They are a beatable team, but it's frustrating that. I guess this goes back to management again. They put in Glasnow. Whether that's the right, wrong, and different answer, our answer to that was David Robertson, who struggled with Max Muncy, and then you put him back out there to start. Nothing against Robertson. I don't hate him. I don't think he was a bad acquisition. But if you see signs that he's struggling against one batter and you're going to start him in the next inning, like he's going to calm down, no.
There's zero reason to bring him back out. Like it's just.
And it's also I think the infuriating thing from a fan's perspective is they kept saying all hands on deck, and then Saturday they put out Robertson. He got in trouble. Put out Strom. A lot of people are mad at Strom for giving up that home run, but realistically, if you started Strom in that inning, he's not facing fucking Teoscar Hernandez, and it's probably not going to give up a home run considering what he did to the 2 batters before Teoscar. And then you put out Kerkering and Durant. Where was Ranger? Where was Nola? Where was Walker? Where was Bueller? You have these guys in the bullpen, and you're telling us it's all hands on deck because you realize how good the Dodgers are, and then you don't. You go to your normal bullpen. Fine. I'm okay with that. Game 1. The thing that I hated that Topper did was put Robertson back out there to start the next inning after he struggled with Max Muncy.
The thing that I hate the most, though, is that obviously that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I completely agree with that. But why can we not self scout that we're tipping pitches? Why can all these other teams, like the Dodgers, before Teoscar went out there, his hitting coach ran up to him with an iPad and said, "Look at this. This is exactly what Strom is going to do." And then he went out there and hit a home run off of Strom because he knew what was coming because the pitch was tipped by.
Really?
Oh yeah, they showed it. I think Max Muncy was on second base and he went like this, which meant like fastball or changeup or whatever the hell it was. So
I think
and
that
it
shit's bullshit.
you can you see in the video they show his glove and the ball's like this, so
Mm-hmm.
you can see his grit. So why can all these teams be able to scout what we're doing, but Jesus had an issue with it, Strom had an issue with it, all of our pitchers, Nola had issue with it. Like all of our pitchers ended up having an issue somehow. I'm sure if you look through the archives,
Well,
I'm
that was
sure.
the argument with the Reds and why the Dodgers pounced on them. Like Hunter
Yeah,
Green. Hunter Green's not a bad pitcher, but he had a bad day where he was revealing how he was throwing the pitches. And
oh yeah, and that was where Teoscar came out and same thing. Saw the iPad, he laughed and he fucking hit a home run like almost immediately off of him. So
I wasn't aware of that, but that's annoying. On top of the fact that this is a team that defers all their payments and really makes it not fun to watch as another team. Again, not an excuse, but still, it's disheartening. The fact that that game one, they rolled out 3 starters:
yeah,
Otani,
it's
Glasnow, and Roku.
and Roki is apparently going to be their ninth guy no matter what now. That was official. But
That's fine, but he was a starter, so you know
yeah,
that if you get him into the ninth and he keeps the game tied, you know he can keep going. Whereas like I don't have that faith in Duran.
but it's just in going back to 2022, you went to 2023, you said let's run it back.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone come back, we'll tweak things. We don't need an outfielder, it's perfectly fine. 2024, same thing. Let's run it back. We can figure it out. We can piecemeal it together. It's perfectly fine. 2025 comes. Same fucking scenario. You're down an outfielder. You're down bullpen pieces. You got rid of your two best bullpen pieces that you picked up from the year before in Estevez and Hoffman, and you ended up picking up Duran middle of the year, so that replaced Estevez, but you had nobody to replace Hoffman.
Well, the
And
answer to Hoffman was Robertson, if you
but
think about it.
you knew that he was 75 years old and trying to
Hey,
walk up the
hey,
stairs.
Jamie Moyer has a ring. Calm
Yeah,
down.
well, Robertson was trying to walk up the steps and he could hear his knees cracking. Like that's how old he was. Like
They had a electric scooter that took Jamie to the mound between
yeah,
innings. They
well,
just kept the
Jamie
camera off.
was instrumental in everything, every single thing. Robertson was not instrumental in anything
Well, so
except for giving up runs.
here's the problem. So to me, we'll focus on game one right now. Robertson goes out there, shuts down the inning, keeps it at 3-2. You don't start him in the next inning. Strom goes out there, probably gets through the inning without an issue. Still 3-2. Kerkering comes in at the 8th. He had no issue. Still good, 3-2. Duran comes out, closes it. You won the game 3-2. The one misstep that happened in that game, I'm not even going to say hitting aside, because like they were up 3-0. That should be able to win a game. Is the mismanagement by Topper of putting
Awesome.
this, or Thompson, whatever, putting him out there again to start it when he hasn't this year at all. He has not split innings. Robertson's either come in and gotten out of an inning or started an inning and just he hasn't been stretched like that where he gets to go cool off and go back out.
Yeah. And I know you're saying that we should concentrate on game one, but he did the same thing in game two.
Yeah, it foreshadows what happens in game two, where again you start the day off by saying all hands on deck. I was at game two, sitting on the rooftop bleachers, looking into our fucking bullpen. Ranger Suarez was down there without a jacket. using the band, throwing pitches, moving. He was ready to go. So for people to sit there and say it's an injury thing, okay, maybe, but at the same time, he doesn't care. He understands the assignment. And then what does Topper do? Runs it back with the same people he brought out Saturday.
And you knew it wasn't gonna work well because Kirkering all year, every time you've put him in that situation of inherited runners, they have scored. I think I saw the stat that it was 13 inherited runners that he's had this year.
Mm-hmm.
8 of them have scored.
Yep. Ricky Bo threw that out there. The first thing he said on that post-game show. Why are you putting a guy out there? Again, all hands on deck. Take Suarez out of the goddamn equation. At that point, Nola was not even announced as a starter. Bueller and Taijuan Walker. And I know this is weird that I'm fucking championing Taijuan Walker, but you have all of these other pieces in that bullpen, and you brought up the same guys from Saturday.
You have Tim Mazza, who obviously is on the roster, so you think he's good. Mm-hmm. So why don't you use him? You have Walker Bueller, you have Taijuan Walker, you have Nola, you have Ranger Suarez, you have so many other players, and like you keep harping on as well, you brought out the same exact players.
And then regular season, all for it. Build the confidence in the guys that you are my 7, 8, 9 guys. Fine.
This isn't the time.
This isn't the regular season. This
No.
is this to me. That Monday night game, well, to everybody, it's not just me, was a do or die. You don't want to go to LA 0-2. It's not impossible. It's improbable. Like you fucked up Saturday.
There's only been 2 teams that have come back from an 0-2 deficit. 1981, I think Giants or whatever it was, in 2012, maybe it was the Giants on that, or Cardinals. I think it was reversed. But I think the 2012, I think that was against us, wasn't it? If it was Cardinals.
Did we even go to the playoffs in 2012? I thought 2011 was the last time we went.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. But
it's just you do these. I think it comes from this. As a fan, the frustrating, and I'm not trying to beat up on them because we've done that enough through the year. We should be happy we're in the postseason. We want more because they should want more. But what is the point of asking I guess this is a general statement for like the world abroad, because lately politics, sports, whatever, you ask a question, answers don't matter.
1981 Dodgers and 2012 Giants.
Okay. But you in this world, in this day and age, you ask a question of anybody, the answer doesn't matter because there's no accountability. B, Topper has said, and he said it again today, all hands on deck. Even more so now because it's do or die. But why would I trust him? He said all hands on deck Saturday. He said all hands on deck on Monday. And what did he do? He rolled out the same fucking people. The only one he actually rotated through everybody was the batting. And even that was odd. Like you took out, this is where the slave to analytics is really rough. I get that probably statistically Bryson Stott batting was better than Edmundo Sosa given the matchups. But Edmundo was the only guy with a damn hit. At some point, Rob, stop looking at Excel.
And that's what I was about to say is, who is making the postseason roster? Is it Dombrowski or is it Thompson? Which one? Is it all hands on deck? And my only hands that I trust, as in Thompson, is Robertson, Kirkering, Strom, Duran. That's it. And then I'm forced to have these other players on the team when I don't want them on the team.
It's hard to tell because if you were to ask him, he's not going to give you a straightforward answer.
No one ever will. Especially, you could ask Charlie Manuel right now, did you want Scott Air on the team in 2008? And he'd be like, absolutely, he did amazing. And he probably didn't want him because it probably wasn't his kind of guy.
And I get
Scott Air was amazing. Shout out Scott Air, our other sponsor on the podcast.
I also get the point that you don't want to throw your team under the bus. Like it's the last thing you want to do. I mean, if you want to talk about throwing people under the bus and the drama that can incur, the Castellanos, Rob Thompson, whatever this passive aggressive fucking feud that's been happening for this season is, and alluding to his comments maybe longer, it's clearly put a rift. Like the it's gonna be weird to say the vibes are not there. And not even like jokingly like, oh, Garrett Stubbs, go put on the Bluetooth. It's there's something off, and it's messing up the flow. And I'm hoping that the travel out to LA, the early workout they're doing in Dodger Stadium, getting away from us because we are the worst. I mean, they'll sit there and compliment us till they're blue in the face that we're the best fan base in like the world. We're not. We are absolutely not, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But it's maybe they need that West Coast breath, fresh air, and we need to treat them a little bit better if they come back next or this Saturday coming up. Because I get that we as fans are frustrated. We are hungry for that ring. We are a team that's been around for over 100 years, and we have two. We're a payroll that's one of the highest, and we have zero based on that payroll. I don't. I think the players are taking a lot of flack for mismanagement that's happening at the office level among the just lies, really, where Middleton says he's all in and then isn't. Dombrowski that says we're going to make the moves and then doesn't. And then I'm not even going to say that like his moves this year were that bad, but he says we're going to explore every option. And then when you come up with, again, I like the now I'm eating my words. I like the Bader and the Duran acquisition, but you could have did more for a
You
bat.
actually could have. You know, before the season even started, Bregman was on the availability tour.
Yeah.
You know, Crochet was on the availability tour. Luis Robert was on the availability tour. Mason Miller was on the tour. Like all these players, you could have upgraded at every situation possible, and you could have been the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You went out, and as Middleton, you went out and you teamed up with some other massive hedge fund kind of guy that was supposed to bring in more billions. Where the fuck is the money at? Like, what are you doing? Are you just hedging it into yourself and you're just making yourself more money? Like, I just don't understand it. Or
the weird thing is, the Phillies in a unique position where everybody, and this is, God, you're getting a lot of football out of me tonight. A lot of people are pissing and moaning about the tush push. And basically, Philadelphia's response is, well, you do it. Like, don't bitch about it. You go do it. You're just mad that we could do it and you can't.
Yeah.
And realistically, the Dodgers are there too. Nobody's telling these other teams they can't defer payments. It's gonna fucking kill certain markets that can't, like, who understand credit card debt. Like they get it. But at the same time, the Dodgers could be like, look, you've gotten to the limit. Just why aren't you crossing that line then? Like why didn't you cross the line for Soto and defer most of it? Or why didn't you cross the line and defer that to like Bregman? And these are all hypotheticals, but I think the key problem is, as a fan, is the rhetoric. They John Middleton all in, wasn't. Dombrowski all in, wasn't. Topper every day before each fucking game, all in, wasn't. It's frustrating as a fan to keep hearing those things being said at you, and then you watch the game and it's not what's being done.
That's like, you know, like if they came out and were just like, we're gonna do our best this season and just see what happens, like everyone would be like, yeah, you know what? Let's just have some fun.
That was 2022. That literally was 2022. It was like, this is the team. We understand we're building to something that'll be, and they even like use the terminology down the road. Like, this is a team that will be ready to beat. Nobody was expecting it to be that exact fucking year that was going to be the team to beat. And now we have that expectation of like, okay, yeah, you showed you could do it. Why aren't we getting there? And to be honest with you, the pieces that we've lost and the pieces that we've acquired, probably a wash, more or less, if you look at it across the years. Like there aren't many mainstays. Brandon Marsh and Bader and Duran and Jesus. I mean, there's some good pickup. Jesus was
Yeah, there's definitely good pickups, but there's better that you could have gotten.
I agree,
And
and the fact that they set a precedent in 2022 of after they lost of we're all in. Like we realize we've got the core, so let's like keep building on that foundation and balls to the wall, and then didn't balls to the wall.
that was like your first year when you're like you noticed Thompson fucking up managerial decisions, especially in the World Series. And you're like, it's first year manager, it's perfectly fine.
They're
He's
not
gonna
supposed to be here.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be here. It's perfectly fine. This was an amazing run. We're all celebrating on Broad Street. We're having a great old time. And then 2023 happened, and you had massive expectations, like
Yeah.
massive. And then you completely
Well, the big signing was Trey Turner, so we did go out and got the megastar of that free agency.
And you completely mismanaged again. Your stars went dead again, like they did in that series against Houston. You know, when you got no hit. Like, and then 2024, the same thing happened. They went dead again, and there was mismanagement again with the bullpen. And you're like, what the hell is going on? I know Thompson has an amazing regular season record, and he had 96 wins again this year, and it's fantastic. But here I am on this podcast saying we don't need a regular season manager. We need somebody that is going to push him over the edge. And if that's not going to be him, dude, sorry, take your 96 wins. Thanks for getting us where we're at. Same thing, Dombrowski. I appreciate you bringing winning baseball back to the city, but we need somebody that is going to push the right buttons, and they have to be able to figure that out. That's not my job or your job to figure out who is the right manager and who is the right GM to be able to push those buttons. That's not our job. That's their job and all their scouts that they have to figure that out.
The weird thing is, I know we've compared this group as to like the 08 group a little bit, and the like that era, like we're kind of back in that era of, we'll say, quote unquote success. I think they're making the same pitfalls Ruben made when he was GM, and there's this sole focus on pitching because that mentality of pitching wins games. Meanwhile, your hitting is aging out, and that's what happened ultimately to after the 08 Phillies. We had studs for pitching.
Yeah.
But we had the core hitters, and we never.
But Pilar said it on some podcast today, I believe. He mentioned it. I saw it retweeted everywhere. But he basically said the Phillies are a team that are not hitting for the team. They are not playing for the name on the front of the jersey. They're playing for the name on the back. Everyone this year is an individual star. And it kind of, like, if you break it down, it kind of feels that way. And only because, like you said, Bader came in and he has been skyrocketing, and he doesn't care if he's starting or he doesn't care if he's coming off the bench. He doesn't care about any of that.
He came from the Twins. He knows he's in greener grass.
Yeah, like that doesn't mean anything. Kepler took him a while, but that's basically been the Phillies' curse, that it takes players a very long time. At the beginning of the season, I bashed Kepler left and right.
Oh,
now it'd be nice to have him back next year.
I lost my mind with him in Game 1.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. Like,
absolutely.
He wasn't doing shit in Game 1. Game 2, he becomes somewhat of a hero.
Like, it's been a complete and utter shift of what my feelings were for Kepler at the beginning of the year to now, and that's kind of been my feelings for Thompson at the beginning of the year to now, because I was like, even to the end of the season, the guy gets us to the postseason. The guy is able to win us back-to-back division titles. That's perfectly fine, but you need somebody that is going to be able to say, hey, stop. Don't bunt here. Like, they're pulling the most perfect wheel route you could ever imagine. And not only are you about to get Castellanos thrown out at third, but you're going to make him turn into the villain immediately after he just turned into the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is going to talk about you sucking and laying down a perfect bunt, even though it wasn't perfect because you hit it way too hard for Muncy to be able to get it and Mookie to be able to tag him out at third. So then all of a sudden, he goes from hero to villain, and now we're all questioning what the hell Topper does for, or Thompson does for managing skills, because he's.
I even argue on that play. If Nick doesn't move, he throws out Bryson at first. And then you're mad at Nick for not moving. Well, why didn't you advance? That was the whole point of the bunt. I alluded to it earlier in this conversation. I do think fans own part of the responsibility. The shit talk that has happened to Nick Castellanos since he's gotten here is, and I know I've been his biggest advocate on this show. It's ridiculous. Like there's no saving grace for Nick. There's no standing O that Turner got. He has been one of the most consistent signings, albeit not the 309 hitter that he was the year before he came here, but he's been consistent. He has not been injured. He has played. He would have played every damn game if Topper didn't do his bullshit. He has been a team player, and yet the city just drags him through the coals. Schwarber, fantastic. You hit what 58 home runs this year. Where the fuck are you in the postseason? This does nothing for me in the postseason. If you can't take me to the finish line, you're not a hero. And I know I've also been one of the most anti-Schwarber guys on this show, to the point where I was coming around during his regular season run. But realistically, October 1st was a brand new season, the postseason. And he is not here. The showman who strong-armed himself into first base, I've said that multiple times on this show, pushed out Rhys Hoskins. Not a fan of Hoskins, but the fact that we could have upgraded easier at first base than we can right field. You were signed as a right fielder. You've played half a season in right field. You're batting worse than most of the team. You have a 264 for the year, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, like, all of these guys are doing shit things, and you're going to go after Cassidy for, not you personally, but they're going to go after Cassidy for getting thrown out of third. At least he fucking did something. And for him, and his quote, which I know is he's getting skewered for, if you listen to any of his interviews, it is just a complicated way of saying the grass is green every time he talks. I'm just going to come out and say, yeah, if you look at the grass and then you compare it to the sky, and you know what a color spectrum is, it is in fact green. That is a Nick Castellanos style quote, and that's what he said about the fans. When we're doing good, yeah, it's easier to play. When we're doing bad, it's a bit tougher. That's all the quote was. He wasn't like, stop fucking booing me and then I'll play better. Like, if he said that,
it's still a weird.
Well, I guarantee you.
To say, like, immediately after.
But the other problem is the fucking media grills him worse than anyone else. They give softball questions to Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, for Eddie Freeman. All these guys get these like, oh, what was it like to like play? They go, hey Nick, the city hates you. How do you feel about that?
I was trying to find. They showed the batting stats from Game 6 of NLCS, and Castellanos had the highest but it was 239.
I showed you
like that.
I showed you the clip of the scorecard where they put the NLDS leaders. He is topping categories higher than 08 players. Schwarber isn't on any of the damn lists. I know a comment was made about tracking defensive stats. Schwarber hasn't fucking played defense. So, like, it's a little frustrating that he becomes a beacon of hate for whatever reason, while there are way worse players on the team right now. Trey Turner should have thrown that fucking ball to the third base side, and then JT would have made that tag on Teoscar, and that inning would have probably played out differently. Instead, he throws at first base side, and JT has to cross back, and that's why he didn't get the tag at home. And then looked around dumbfounded, like, why didn't that work? Because you're a shit shortstop. You probably shouldn't be playing shortstop.
And I think here we go. So the
And-
Phillies batting average since Game 6 of the NLCS 2023 NLCS minimum 20 at bats. Nick Castellanos is 258.
Mhm.
Brandon Marsh is 200. Alec Boehm is 192. Harper 192. Real Muto 185. Trey Turner
So
133. Schwarber 107.
is anyone higher than Casty?
No,
Okay.
minimum 20 at bats. So,
And then Casty didn't even get to play the full first game. That's the crazy
yeah.
thing about it too. I don't think any of these players suck. To be honest, I'm not particularly thrilled with the way they're hitting. They obviously get cold at the wrong times, but to target one, and the one who got you back within one, for getting thrown out of third in a 0-out bunt situation, I don't want to hear any fucking idea that this is good baseball to bunt there. That is that's terrible managing for the first part. You're now telling Stott, I don't think you can hit.
And I think even the worst part about that is I had an argument with my brother today who said he has no issue with it at all. It was a great call and it's exactly what you do. But Thompson came out and he said, at home you play for the tie. There is no reason to do that. And my brother was like, the only reason why you play for the tie is because you know their bullpen sucks. And your bullpen is your strength. And I said, but it hasn't been.
They haven't played their bullpen. They play starters. Roki would have come out and then played 3 more innings, and you would have not hit him. So how are you playing for the goddamn tie on that logic when their bullpen is all starters?
And that's what I kept asking people, and that's what I don't understand is like that. I think that quote in itself is the worst quote that he could have possibly said. I think that's worse than Casty saying anything about the fans. You saying that you're playing for the tie is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, when you're down one game.
If our city is balls to the wall, like everyone says it is, then how can you do that?
Even so, like, into his defense, because obviously the post game had a meltdown too about the whole handling of that inning. You know, Casty's slow. You've committed to Bader hitting, but not running, so you don't have a pinch hitter or pinch runner for Nick. What, you don't think that a sac fly to advance him is a better route than a fucking bunt for a guy you can't run? He's probably the second slowest on the team to Alec Boehm. Like, put it out in the outfield, and you probably have better chances of him tagging and getting to third than you do putting it in the infield and knowing he's slow, knowing that, like, well, bunting wise, I don't think this team's been fucking great at all. Like, go look at the stat on that. Like, how many successful bunts has this fucking team had, Johan Rojas?
I know.
It's just like, the play for the tie is infuriating because you're already down one game. You're heading to LA. There is no fucking tie. Like,
no,
to your point,
if it was the first game and you're saying play for a tie so you can go into extra innings, okay.
Yeah.
Like I get that logic, but you're already down one game.
Especially since when you're telling us you're all fucking in and you're not playing your starters in the bullpen. You have 6 starters. You have 6 starters. You have Sanchez, God, why am I blanking? Jesus, Walker, Bueller, Nola. Okay, 5 starters. I had Wheeler in my mind.
And
but
Ranger.
And Ranger. So you have 6.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing this? Like, I'm not telling you to exactly copy their playbook, but like when they're using that playbook against you and they can't hit your starters and you can't hit their starters, why the fuck are we sending them the bullpen?
And that's what I imagine. When we get eliminated tonight, I imagine on Thursday or Friday, whenever Dombrowski comes out, he's going to come out and he's gonna announce that
so many
Ranger
surgeries
was hurt. He's going to announce Harper was held back by an oblique injury or
so many surgeries.
there's gonna be 150 surgeries for 10 people, and it's gonna be outrageous, and that's why you're gonna run it back again. Let's just do this all again next year. We're having Thompson come back. I'm coming back as Dombrowski. Middleton is still not gonna spend a shitload more money than what he already has spent a shitload of money on because I have gotten the wrong fucking people constantly and they can't figure out the Philly way. But let me just keep doing what I'm doing. And we're going to bring up Miller, but he's only going to play like 3 days a year. We're going to bring up Crawford. He's probably going to play like maybe 15 games, and you're going to wonder why he sucks.
As he's checking his phone to see if Nashville Stadium is opened yet.
Yeah, and he's completely down there.
I'm not as pessimistic as you. I don't think they're losing tonight. I think they're going to break our heart even worse. They're going to give us. It's going to be the Hawkeye thing where he turns to the Black Widow and goes, "Don't do that. Don't give me hope."
Dude, like I told you, I was so on board, and I was so ready for tomorrow's game that I was like pounding my fist and talking to everyone, talking to you, talking to Tyler, talking to my brother, and I was so pumped. And then I keep seeing more and more articles that come out and say all sorts of shit that is just like, but this guy sucks. This guy sucks.
The good thing about that, but the good thing about that is the articles you're seeing, the Dodgers are seeing. And nobody knows what that locker room is truly like except for that locker room. I'm not saying they're being like chess players here and moving the pieces to make people think like this is the shitter. This team is done, throwing in the towel. There's fighting inside.
But they're having an emergency meeting before the game today.
But is it not a good narrative to walk into the enemy territory with the enemy thinking that you're crippled? And then come out. Man. I'm just saying. Here are some. I want to be positive because we aren't out yet, and I hope we have another postseason show next week. But here's the positives. If they played a game 3 in Philadelphia right now, and Trey Turner first at bat struck out, they weren't winning that game, and the reason is the fans. So we're on a break, like friends. Ross and Rachel took a break. We're on a break. Okay. They need to get away from us a little bit. We need to get away from them a little bit. We need to get back to that excitement. So when they come back for Game 5, we're balls to the wall. Let's go. They have nothing to lose, and there is 3 guys that will be playing, well, 4 guys that will be playing that game that have free agency on the horizon. And even if you go back to that comment where Pilar said they were playing for themselves. Wednesday's a good day, or tonight's a very good day to play for yourself and up your stock value if you become the hero that kept them in for at least one more game.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It just doesn't.
And the third point, the Dodgers did play their starters in the first 2 games. And Glasnow is technically their 4th starter. I know Yamamoto hasn't come out. But what kind of cards can you pull out in Game 3 when you used them in the first 2 games and you have to be prepared in case you need them for the next 2 games?
Ohtani was already announced as Game 4 starter.
Game 4?
Yeah. It was already announced for Game 4 starter if there's a Game 4.
Well, then fantastic. Because I don't think he's going to be able to do Ohtani things on short rest compared to what Sanchez could do. The other flip side to that is what cards are you going to put? So, okay, they burn Ohtani. This is why I'm optimistic. I think the Dodgers played their cards early. It's like Fast and Furious. When they're driving the goddamn cars, and they got that stupid NOS button, and that newbie driver always hits it too fucking early.
Yeah.
That's the Dodgers. They hit that button too fucking early because we got to win Citizens Bank Park. It's a war zone, It's like Portland, Oregon, center of the military. It's just fucking nuts. But the flip side, Topper used the same 3 guys out of the bullpen. All those other guys.
I think the report came out as well that Teoscar Hernandez
Is
said
dead?
that
Oh,
he couldn't believe that they won 2 games in Citizens Bank Park to Freddie
Kiki.
Freeman.
It was Kiki.
Kiki, okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
Teoscar's too
stealing Hernandez.
egotistical and allegedly dead. You heard it here first. Um,
Shout out to
I,
our sponsor,
I'm
the Onion.
it's weird that I'm going against everything I've told you all season of expect disappointment, never be disappointment, stealing from Spider-Man No Way Home. I do not think they die tonight. I don't even think they die tomorrow. I can't give you the confidence for Saturday. But I do think they come back to Philly. We all said Phillies in 5. Like everybody knew this was going to be a tough series.
I said Phillies in 4, so I'm wrong.
I'm rewriting history. That's a thing you can do these days. I've heard about it. So it's Phillies in 5, and I again, I'm not confident about Saturday, but I am confident of going out to LA and shutting them up because right now the Dodgers got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. And the last team that felt pretty good about themselves coming back to their home field to close out a series was the Philadelphia Phillies in the NLCS in 2023, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah,
Dodgers, it's on you. The entire burden is on you. We
listen,
have
the Yankees are getting dominated though, so that should make you feel a little bit better. It
anytime New
was
York
six to
loses.
one, but it's 6-3 now.
And it's terrifying. Like that's the other thing. So let's look at the other postseason. Um, we get past this hard fought battle with LA. The fuck is happening everywhere else? The Brewers are
It's
destroying the Cubs. The
yeah,
Blue Jays are destroying the. It does not look less stressful at the end of this tunnel if we somehow make it through,
no,
where we
no,
burn out
not even,
Sanchez and Zeus and have to roll into Milwaukee with fucking
yeah,
Nola on the mound.
no. With Taiwan Walker as your
Yeah.
game one
So
starter because the Brewers are gonna sweep the freaking Cubs.
it's that's terrifying, but let's deal with the problem at hand. I do think they come back to Philly. I know it's going to hurt so much when I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, but I don't know.
Now,
There's part of me that thinks they come back. They have
now they,
they have to.
I saw a great question on Twitter, and I will ask you it.
Sure.
Would you prefer them coming back to Philly and losing Game 5, or would you prefer them to get swept and lose in Game 3?
No. Just no to both. Game 4 they can lose because
No,
I'll be home.
no, it's one or the other.
No, because game 3 I'm going to be with you guys at a bar, and I don't want people to see me cry. And then game 5, it's going to hurt more because there was more hope. Because I don't. It's like it's surreal. If they did if it was a back and forth where they went to LA 1-1 and they came back from LA 2-2 and lost in game 5, it would suck, but not as much. What will suck more is you went to LA 0-2, you came back from LA 2-2, and then you lost it. Like you were fighting back
100%.
so hard.
That's what I chose. I chose that I would prefer them losing tomorrow
But
because I do not want them coming back to Philly and losing.
at the same time, it is not processing in my mind that they lose the NLDS 03. It just it doesn't. And then the 1-4 or the 1-3 is it's last year. We just got the win in a different location. It's this is why I think they advance, and it's dumb. I'm wrong. Like statistically, the odds are against me, but I just can't. Even when the result happens, I'll still not believe it. Like it'll just be like, why did this happen? Like the post mortem in my head. Like we're gonna do a post mortem, either as World Series champs, at National League champs, at LDS advancers, or thank you for playing. Um, and each post mortem is going to be like, what just happened?
Like what I don't understand the most either is Dodgers are not good for baseball.
No.
They are not good for baseball. And the only reason, like, Bryce Harper has come out and said they're good for baseball. JT has come out and said they're good for baseball,
Yeah,
and that everyone that's saying they're not good for baseball are losers. And the only reason why they're saying they're good for baseball is because they're driving up their price.
yeah, money wise.
They're,
So as a
if
player
you're
will never give you a true aspect on that unless they're a shitty player.
if you're a true baseball fan, that you love baseball like we do, and we do this podcast for each other, like,
Yeah. Well, like the other like it's a superficial market base. Like I don't want to say that Dodger fans aren't Dodger fans, but I guarantee you find more. I have a Dodgers hat because I know I saw Otani on a New Balance a poster type thing than somebody who has Phillies gear because they saw Bryce Harper.
yeah, like, and but they're a fan of that player. They're not a fan of that team. Like, they
I,
can't name,
I would
like,
even go further to say they're a fan of the brand. They're not even a fan of Otani. They're just a fan of like, oh, the LA blue hat. Yeah, that's a cool thing. Or the New York Yankees, the New York Yankees hat. Like it's a brand thing at that point and not a baseball thing at that point.
but like those people that were from LA
Mm-hmm.
and they were diehard Angel fans. And then all of a sudden they switched to diehard Dodger fans because of Otani.
I
Like,
can't
those
fathom
people
that.
can't name the players that were on the team before then. So, like, that,
Yeah,
like, it's such bullshit that
yeah,
you have, like, I know our fan base gets such a bad rap, and we are
assholes.
so hard on all the players. Yes, we're complete assholes. We demand so much when I'm sitting here in my chair saying you should have been able to figure out a wheel route so very easy when I never got close to the majors. So, but still, like, it's very disheartening for a team that you believe in so much and you've loved your whole entire life and could go back all the way, like, to when you're in your teens, to be able to say, like, how hard it is to watch the team now, and how, like,
I think part.
there's nowhere. I don't know. You see
I
the
no.
women's shrink. I
I think
don't know.
I think part of the fan base experience is going through that dark period, and when these clubs are building it to where you don't have a dark period, and we'll go to the Yankees because they were the first easy team to hate. They even on their bad years, they usually made the playoffs. Like you had postseason in their bad years. The Dodgers are now that way. Even in their bad years, they still make the playoffs. The Braves were starting to get a little bit that way. It's like even in their bad years, they still made the playoffs. To go through that tribulation of like the Reds or us in 2022 or the Diamondbacks in 2023, I will not give credit to the Mets. It, it's it's a weird like I've talked to a true Dodgers fan because I've worked out in California with a client and I've had baseball conversations with him who, yeah, he was excited for all the signings, but he couldn't go to a game. He just could not afford to go to a game because of these dumbass contracts, these dumbass all stars, this playing to the LA elite in a way. Like there's
That's what
something.
that's what every fan base is doing now. Like, when especially with Phillies too. Like,
Mm,
when we had the freaking ballpark pass, it was $100 for the whole year.
that's
You
true.
could go to
All
80,
81 games.
and that was standing room only. It was for $100, and you could go and you could pay for parking that was at max $20.
Yeah,
Now it's at minimum $20, and max is like $45 or $50 depending on who they're playing.
yeah.
So that's across the board, but
There's
it's
also like a weird experience to watch like the celebrities that show up for an LA Dodgers game versus the celebrities that show up for a Phillies game. Like to see
well, it's
Jason
also a lot
Bateman.
easier
Well, yeah,
for
but to see like
them.
a Jason Bateman stand there, I'm pretty sure Jason Bateman's not from LA, like
Yeah,
originally.
But it's also easier for them to like it.
But to see a Miles Teller or a Shane Gillis chilling at the game 2 of the Philadelphia NLDS, they're from the area. Like they've experienced the dark times. They were there as kids in '93 when that team didn't make it. They got to experience 08. So it's like a different experience, and that's at least with the Dodgers. To me, when we first started this show, and every year we've talked about it, how they sign everybody and defer everything, and it's a weird abstract problem that you don't deal with until like the postseason, because it's like, yeah, whatever, go do whatever you want. We're still gonna fucking beat you later down. And now here we are going, well, fuck, they're all healthy, and they're leaving all stars off the fucking NLDS roster.
Yeah, they left Clayton Kershaw off the NLC or NL wild card.
Yeah, like we left an all-star off of it because he had to have surgery because he almost died.
Yeah, like it's.
And we got lucky that like Jesus wasn't a guarantee. Like there was a lot of gamble. Bader wasn't a guarantee. Like there's a lot of Sanchez sure as shit wasn't a guarantee. When Tampa gave him to us, like we can't do anything with this fucking kid. Now he's our ace.
And even Jose Alvarado, he was basically a throw-in from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah,
like he was terrible, and he's been amazing since, and it's probably because of the steroids. But it's
Strom was a throw-in. Marsh was a throw-in. Marsh wasn't the big part of that deal that came over, wasn't it? Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah,
like we built like Stott and Bohm, even though they're not like fantastic right now, but they're reliable pieces. They were drafts. Like this wasn't a mega. There is an aspect to this team that are mega stars. The Dodgers are all mega stars, and that's a problem, in my opinion. When you have, like your entire pitching staff would be an ace anywhere else in the league, whereas like we can't give away Nola. Then your entire hitting, they are franchise players. Freddie Freeman was a franchise player in the Braves. Mookie Betts was a franchise player in the fucking Red Sox. Teoscar Hernandez was Seattle? Like Ohtani was Angels. Like these are all franchise players from other teams that you put together like Infinity Stones. And I get where, from a player's perspective, yeah, this is fantastic because my price tag is going to go up since they have no room, and I can go demand whatever I want from someone else, like the Mets. But if you're a Nationals fan or if you're a fucking Angels fan down the road and you're watching this all happen, it's like, yeah, we have probably who should have been the best player in baseball, Mike Trout, and we haven't made the postseason.
Yeah. Yep. It's an absolute shame, and it's so disheartening to hear one of baseball's most prolific players in Bryce Harper say that it's good for baseball, because you really thought that he was different in the way that he truly cared about baseball and that he truly understood the nuances of the game and understood the fan base and where we're all coming from. And that's probably because he panders to us like crazy. And
he did it today he did it yesterday in the press conference when he was basically playing captain, telling us what they were going to do in Game 3. It's like, all right, Topper's not giving you the answers. Here's the answers.
Yeah, so it kind of it's very upsetting to know that he's perfectly fine in the media saying that it's fantastic what they're doing. He could be at home telling Kayla that he hates the Dodgers and they're terrible for baseball, but then he could be coming out here like, yo, Scott Boras is my client, or I'm Scott Boras' client, and he's about to get me even more rich soon.
Which is kind of weird because you hear the stories of how he told Manfred to get the fuck out of the locker room type thing. Like he seems to stand up for the players and like the grit of baseball. But I also want to point out, because like if this is your first time listening to the show and somehow you've made it an hour through all of this and you got to our Dodgers conversation, every time the Dodgers come up, we have this conversation. It's just amplified right now because we're the victim of the conversation. But I want to point out, like, if we were like, oh, you're just saying that because you're losing to them. No, anytime we've talked about them, It's
You listen to any of our podcasts,
yeah,
especially like the free agent signings. We lost our mind during
yeah,
that whole entire process.
and the fact that like it's again, these aren't excuses. Our team is not hitting. That is the fucking problem. Point blank. We can be better than them. We have been better than them. We should be better than them to prove the fucking point. But it's infuriating because I messaged you. I was at game 2. I messaged you because I couldn't. Unfortunately, you were listening to the game. You weren't seeing it, and I messaged other people too of like, how is this ump doing? Because everything I'm out in right field, and everything that's coming into like, again, not to make excuses, but coming in to Schwarber looked really inside to the point where he's moving, and usually when he moves, it's a ball. Like he
Yeah,
I'll give him credit where credit's due. He sees the ball very well when it comes in, and they kept calling him strikes. And being in the right field, it's like, okay, I can't make
I
the call. I'm in the right field.
I never saw the MLB scorecard. Did you?
No, I didn't look that up. But it's just weird that like, again, not excuses. I don't want this to be conspiracy theories, but there is a clear fan favorite from a major league perspective. It's two teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers. They are money movers. They're a brand. The brand sells. The Phillies could be third, but they're probably a distant fucking third compared to these two. And it's just because they're in the two prolific cities. And it's very hard. The weird thing that got me is watching game 1, and I didn't know this was a thing because I don't follow other teams. I follow the Phillies. We talk about the Phillies. The Otani rule. And the national announcers kind of bragging about the fact that they made a rule for Otani, and it's like, no, why is that a rule?
Yeah.
Like, if he comes out as a pitcher, the rule for everybody else is you lose your designated hitter. Why is it
Well,
okay for him? Why is it okay that his interpreter gambled and he's not getting any fucking flack for it, but Pete Rose had to die before he got reinstated? Like, it's those kind of biases that are just frustrating and adds to the anger when you play a team like this. The same way it added to anger when you played a team like the Yankees, or you played a team like the Patriots for the longest time, or the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Pittsburgh Penguins when they were good. Like it just adds to it when it seems like the league goes, hey, this is my moneymaker, and it's okay for them because they're the
well,
moneymaker.
they said there was .54 runs added for LA Dodgers.
Well,
The
that's a game.
overall consistency was 92%. The overall accuracy was 97%. The most impacted calls were bottom of the third, Snell to Kemp, 0 outs, runner on first, 2-1 count, ball is called a strike. The second one was top of the ninth, Duran to Pages, 1 out, runner on second, 1-1 count, strike is called a ball. The third one is Luzardo to Hernandez, 0 outs, bases empty, 0-1 count, strike is called a ball. But .54 more runs were given to Dodgers.
I mean, the impactful ones didn't seem very impactful because again, there was ones that like I thought they rung up Schwarber on.
It seemed to me
But I was in right
when
field. I want to put that as a caveat. I was in right field, so I couldn't see shit. I was going based off of the reaction from the crowd, which will always be biased because you're in Philadelphia, and just the way he moved. He got out of the way, and he doesn't typically get out of the way of the things that are strikes.
and what Larry Anderson was saying that I forget who that umpire was, but
Did he keep it PG?
he said Adrian Johnson was the umpire. He said Adrian Johnson was one of the worst umpires behind Angel Hernandez. And that's what he said on the radio, that every time he has umped a game, he's been the worst. He's terrible. So I don't know if that's just LA going nuts or what, but
I feel like there's a couple other ones that probably rank worse than this
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I forget the one's name, but yeah.
Buckner.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if your name as an umpire sticks out to a guy who only follows the Phillies and has maybe gotten really, really into it in the last 5 years, you're a shitty umpire. If I could, because it was Buckner and Hernandez, that like those two, you heard their name and you could have put them anywhere in the fucking field. You knew it was going to be a bad day.
And then you know what else I want to say before we wrap this all up, to kind of go back on
Phils.
to go back on and harp even more, is I want to be able to say that the fact that they're going to the same pitchers over and over again,
Us or the Dodgers?
Us.
Okay.
Like as Thompson is going over and over again with the same pitchers back to back games, you went with 12 pitchers. That was your choice. You could have went with 11 pitchers, and you could have had that extra base runner. So when Bader did get that hit, you could have had Stubbs as your pinch runner for Castellanos. Like you could have, if you weren't going to use any of those other pitchers, the Mesa, the Walker Buehler, Taiwan Walker, if those three players are off the roster and you're only carrying 9, that's 3 more batters that you could have on your team. And you could have Johan Rojas if he was healthy to be able to pinch run. You could have Garrett Stubbs pinch run if you needed him. You could have Justin Crawford just to pinch run and be there. Like you could have these players if you didn't believe in these other pitchers. And that's what it's kind of seeming, is that you didn't need all these pitchers to be on your roster.
Unless, again, I really hope we have a conversation next Tuesday night when we record and we advance. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to call him a miracle, like the magician or a miracle worker. But if there was some, we record this Tuesday. Game 3 is tonight. When this drops on Wednesday. If there was some kind of elaborate plan, not that he had planned to lose both games in Philadelphia, but understanding needing those guys in the stretch more so than in the beginning. Because I guarantee he didn't account for the bats to not bat. Your leadoff guy won the NL batting title. Your second guy
was
the high
injury.
Yeah, but let's just you assume he's coming back. Even if he came back partial, he should come back and be able to get on base, which he did. He walked a couple times, but he was your NL batting champion. Pretty sure Schwarber was the home run leader for the NL.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Harper's Bryce Harper, and Alec Boehm was your second highest average on the team. So he probably didn't account for that. All 4 of them would suck so much ass that JT would have been the guy to get the first hit, or basically that JT would be the guy to get the RBIs on Saturday. That maybe his strategy with pitching was to load it at the back end and hope that the Dodgers burnt through theirs on the front end. And it's extremely stressful because we're 0-2. But I'm sure he, along with most of Philadelphia, fully anticipated a 1-1 out of this weekend. I mean, to me, there was no realistic scenario where we came out 2-0. The Dodgers are a good team.
100%. 100%. Your wishful thinking was 1-1, and you blew it on Saturday. That was your 1.
Yep.
And your Monday should have been, like you've said 1,000 times this podcast, but that should have been your, all balls to the wall. That should have been Nola coming in. It should have been Walker. It should have been the other Walker. Should have been everyone. Everyone should have came in. Like everyone, you had Bryce Harper say that Nola has a short leash. Everyone should have had the short leash on that game too, because
the weird, it's
just
so
what it should have been.
It's so weird because I don't think pitching was it wasn't the problem. It's just weird that he went back to the same guys that kind of didn't help them in the first game. Well, all right, caveat. He didn't bring out Robertson.
It was the same problems during the regular season, and it happened again in the postseason. Like that's my only problem.
The caveat is he didn't bring out Robertson, and if you look at game one, the real problem of that game was the Robertson decision. Kerkering didn't do bad, Duran didn't do bad, Strom ultimately didn't do bad. So to bring those three back out kind of makes sense. I'm not justifying it because it does. It's weird that you make the comment of all in. You have Ranger warming, like he's bopping around in the bullpen. But the real problem in game two was hitting, and then decisions about how to hit.
Yeah,
when you're in the final inning.
Our next podcast is going to be a memoriam.
The postmortem.
It's done. Tomorrow or today, whatever, we're going to lose. It's going to be, and I think it's going to be brutal. Like I honestly think.
You think they're going to come out on all cylinders?
I think the Dodgers are going to just completely blast us away. Like it's going to be the Blue Jays, I think, scored 6 runs in the first inning tonight. I think it's going to be like that. Like Nola is going to get completely demolished, and it's going to get bad.
The only confidence I have about tonight's game is I would say 2025 is the year that I was wrong about a lot that I've said on this podcast. And one of the things that I've said a lot is Aaron Nola is trash and needs to go away. Schwarber is trash and needs to go away. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong.
That's why I'm even more scared, is because you're believing in Nola.
No, I'm not. I'm still not. But I believe that the world works against me as much as it possibly can. That it'd be like, oh, the one win you did get came at the hands of Nola and Schwarber hitting 3 home runs. Dace. How does that feel? Oh, Sanchez and Casty have a good game on Thursday, but you got eliminated? That's how life works for me. Because I'll have the counter argument like, yeah, but Casty hit 2 home runs Thursday. Yeah, but they lost 3-2.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to me. So at the Bennett of Philadelphia, Wednesday should be a good day for you, just to prove me wrong. If the universe wants to continue to prove me wrong, Schwarber will go off the next 3 games. Nola will get a save at some point, probably a game 5. It'll just, if the world will work against me, and then we'll go on to the NLCS to face the Brewers, and the last out will be, again, Nola getting the save against Rhys Hoskins based on the story I keep telling on this podcast.
Rhys Hoskins isn't even on the NLDS roster.
Oh, he'll be at the NLCS, though, because he'll have to come out to get the last out, so the universe will prove me wrong. And it's 2025, Dace in a nutshell. He says something, 10 things like to try to prove him wrong. Right? Like, oh, this world can't get any crazier. All of a sudden, Portland is in a terroristic state. That is. We're not going to win a Nola game. Nola's going to throw the next no-hitter, and we're going to have to hear about that for the next 10 years. Yeah, I can. I can fully imagine Nola throwing a goddamn no-hitter, and Tyler, when he returns to the show, going, Dace, That's how the world works. So he'll hit and throw a no-hitter, and Schwarber will go 5 for 5 on home runs for some fucking reason, and I'll just be like, I will take my Casty jersey and just hide in the basement, because fuck me, that's why.
Aaron Judge just tied the game with a 3-run homer.
See? In my mind, when you told me they were getting lit up, the Yankees were out, and I'm like thinking to myself, we'll do better than the Yankees.
It was 6-1, now it's 6-6.
Exactly. I don't understand life. That's basically what this comes down to. And that is the benefit of Philadelphia fans right now. I think I know what's going to happen. I told you they were going to be eliminated in the wild card this year. They won the NL East again and proved me fucking wrong. So the law of steps did not work for the Dace Man this year. And Aaron Nola will throw a no-hitter, probably a perfect game to really rub it in my fucking face. They're like, they haven't been one of these in like ever.
The whole entire year there was a no-hitter.
And Mr. fucking Fivehead comes out here in LA.
Yeah, can you imagine? That'd be hilarious. Holy crap. Nola throwing the first no-hitter of 2025 in LA.
and you being right next to me to see the look on my face of like, oh my God, I'm going to have to hear this from Tyler. I think that's the worst part of it. Is like, I can't get a leg up on anything in any argument because the moment I shit talk someone or I try to stand up for someone, they do terrible. You know who's going to do great tomorrow? Shohei Ohtani. That motherfucker is going to win NLDS MVP based on tomorrow's game, even though he's like 0-9.
Shouldn't have put that out there.
I am, because he probably just broke his leg walking off the plane.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, every hot take that I've had on this show this year has been wrong. And that should be a godsend to anyone who listens to this as a Philly base. Unless I'm right now.
And my hot take of Taijuan Walker being a good player is not doing well.
Who kept calling him Cy Young Walker? The moment I started doing that, what happened to him? He went back to Walmart greeter. I start jumping on the Walmart greeter bandwagon again. This motherfucker's going to go get the save for Aaron Nola. And they're going to throw a combined perfect game. That's what's going to happen.
Oh.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Jersey Fanatics. Hopefully not our last week of active season talk.
Just need to keep shaking my head.
All right. Besides shaking your head, what do you got going on, Mr. Barezzo?
Begrudgingly playing soccer every Wednesday.
You are, but we're going to get to watch the game after tonight. So there's worse things that could be on the horizon. BasementProtocolProductions.com. Everything we do goes on there. Facebook.com/BasementProtocolProductions, which again, I'm learning because somebody told me to take a look at the analytics. That's a dead fucking medium. Twitch.tv/BasementProtocol for all our streams. I've been streaming Sunday. I should be back Thursday. And we play Borderlands on Friday. And Monday, we're supposed to pick up some kind of multiplayer game at some point. For Real Conversations is returning on October 20th, I think is the date. He said, looking at the calendar, not knowing. October 17th. And we'll be doing horror movies that are funny. I don't know what the official theme name of it is, but we're going to be watching movies like The Rubber, which is a murderous tire. So it's going to be good. Dace Tacular Mind will then return on the 24th. Probably be crying tears of what the Phillies have done to me as a grown man. And then, another 4 Real Conversations on 31st. We got things going on. This drops every Wednesday, weekly protocol every Thursday. We have a new editor, or at least a person who said they're going to edit. Heard that before. We'll see if it follows through. That's going to do it for us. I've been Chris the Dace Man Dace. He's been Erik Barezzo.
Bye.
Remember, basement dwellers, stick to the protocol. Mr. Barezzo, hopefully not for the final time of the 2025 season, but ring that bell.
Bong.
Oh, bong. Undertaker gong, like we're dying. Next time, play the bagpipes, Erik. We'll see you next week.